The latest report from Nebraska's National Agricultural Statistics Service paints a less than favorable picture for grazing animals. While 28% of the state's pasture and range is rated good to excellent, 35% is listed as poor to very poor. On Monday, we traveled to North Platte and talked with Nebraska Extension's Jerry Volesky about the outlook for the rest of the grazing season. But to start, we asked for an overview of current conditions in that part of the state.
Well, ever since June 1st, throughout pretty much central and even into southwest Nebraska, it's been very dry. There was a lot of areas that those months of June and July had less than an inch or even less than half an inch. Here in August, many areas have started to receive some rainfall, and so that's been fortunate. But I think for the most part, we'll definitely see a reduction in our pasture production. And there were a number of producers that had been seriously thinking about some drought management strategies, moving yearlings off the ranch early, a lot of talk about early weaning, those types of things.
This rain in August, how much does that help right now?
Well, there were it's been quite spotty too, as it normally or always is, but there were some areas that I noticed got some rain, good rain in the earlier part of July after a dry June, and those have really started to look pretty good. Now that again, there's some other areas that didn't receive any rain, some of these patchy rains until late July, and for the most part, I don't think that will help too much. It's just a little bit too late in the growing season for those warm season grasses. It will help them keep their vegetative state or greenness a little bit longer, but I think for the most part, it's important that it will help them next year. So by having that rain, they can build up some energy reserves for next year.
Overall, as you look out for the rest of the grazing season, what do producers need to consider or think about?
Well, I think for the rest of the grazing season, watch the pastures closely, monitor them in terms of the level of utilization that's has taken place. They still, of course, with reduced production, may have to consider moving them to different pastures or ungrazed pastures yet, and a little bit sooner than they expected.
So producers will be able to learn more about pasture and ranges at the Goodmanson Sandhills Lab Open House. Tell me what's noteworthy this year and what producers might learn by attending.
Sure, we've got our 18th annual Goodmanson Open House on the 23rd of August, and we've got a great program. We think we've got leading it off with newly retired Don Adams, who'd been over the course of his career did a lot of systems and cow research up there at Goodmanson, so he's going to provide kind of an overview of that. Something new this year, we've got Kurt Pate. He's a renowned livestock handling stockmanship person, and he's going to be giving a 2-hour demonstration and hopefully provide a lot of useful information for cattle producers.
And the very talented market analyst?
Right, yes. And in the afternoon, we've got Jim Robb from the Livestock Marketing Information Center, who will talk about his perceptions or outlook of what the cattle market's going to be doing. And then, as always, we've got research updates provided by the faculty that do work at the Goodmanson, plus a number of exhibitors, both outside and inside, the exhibitors from different industries associated with livestock production.
What do you think producers like most about this event? What do you think they get out of it the most?
Well, I think each year we try to have a few things different. We try to make it a learning event. And it's been, like I mentioned, our 18th consecutive year that we've been doing this. And so we've got a lot of regulars that they mark this down on their calendar way ahead of time just to get up there and listen to the different speakers, interact with some of their peers, and so on.